Welcome to Every Way Woman. Different women, different opinions, always great conversation. Welcome Dr. Nimmi Kapoor to the show.
Breast cancer is really just uncontrolled growth of cells. And it starts with changes in the DNA, and it starts within the breast tissue. The breast is made of lobules that make milk, and ducts, which are the tubes that get the milk out to the nipple.
My mom got breast cancer, and she was on hormone replacement therapy. And same thing, she had no idea that she was going to get it. And so now, I'm not as worried because I feel like, oh, well, it was through hormone replacement therapy. I don't have to worry. Do I have to worry?
Well, it's so common, 1 in 8. And as we get older, our risk keeps increasing up to the age of 80. And while it's nice to say, oh, it must have just been the hormones, doesn't mean you're totally free from the risk. And
what are some of the symptoms? What should I be telling my young daughters or the people around me to be looking for, even before I get to there? What are some of the symptoms?
Right. So this is important. It's really important to know your breasts. And you don't know symptoms unless you really know what your breasts feel like, what normal breasts are. Everyone's breasts are different. All of our breasts are lumpy in one way or another.
Hey, you need to take a step back. You talk to me. No. No.
So at no time are you demonstrating fear. I was in an abusive relationship. I can tell you that it's not a good thing, particularly for children, and being a survivor of molestation. The things that we do to children are, you can never, ever, ever imagine. So it's
right, and I think children sometimes can be afraid to speak out. They're afraid. They don't want to be responsible. They don't want to be saying something that will cause disruption in the family.
Exactly.
And I think that's the real crucial key.
Teachers are also taught how to watch for this kind of thing, and I think that in many schools they're very much on top of it, and they're really aware, and they call authorities when they need to.
Well, do they? Because we have situations with the Boy Scouts, we have situations with the church, we have situations with Penn State, and I just wonder, how did these things happen and people just look the other way? And
in cases of men, do you do intervention for it, and you see men being abused?
Well, we do provide services to men, and recently we've seen an increase in men reporting domestic violence.
After they've experienced a domestic violence incident, how do they find out where the shelters are, where to go?
Well, when we get a call and we have either an individual that is going to jail because of a domestic violence and we need to get a restraining order, we will do that. It's called an emergency protective order.
Do you think it's almost a luxury to be able to go back to work as a mom because you're having to pay so much for childcare?
if you have a really important meeting that you need to go to, but your kid comes home sick, what do you do then?
Right.
Time daycare, they say, is pretty much equivalent to a college education, 1 year of college education.
So what about women entering work for the first time? Whether they haven't gone to work or coming right from college, how do we prepare ourselves for that?
Well, you know what? The first thing you need to do, you have to have a plan. It's important. You don't just set out and, take the shotgun approach when you're looking for a job.
This is just a confidence issue, but pitching the number that may seem relevant, and I think, oh, I don't deserve that, and I kind of almost shy away from it.
Is that a woman thing? Is that why women aren't making the money that men are? Because, it's a considerable difference.
Absolutely.
But are we selling ourselves short here?
Absolutely. When you're in the job search and when you're going for this, you have to go for the gold.
What about those women who maybe have done, a project here or there, and how do you bring it all together? How do you sell yourself, really? Because that's what most people go into it and they think, well, I don't know, I'm not on my trajectory right now, but I want to get that dream job. How do they sell themselves?
Hey, ladies, this is Every Way Woman. Different women, different opinions, and great conversation.